There are a lot of bad sales leaders out there. And no, I don't think it's because they're bad people. I just think that they miss some of the real fundamentals of leadership. The number one most important fundamental in leadership is that you have to have the trust of the people you lead. If they don't trust you, they don't know how you're going to act. And if, more importantly, if they don't trust you to act in their best interest, you're never going to get their best performance out of them. Now, I don't think it's much of a stretch, but there still are a lot of people who don't realize that the teams they lead are their new customers. Right? And I've talked about this before. I don't need to go into great detail about this, but look, if you thought of your team as your customers, would you think about earning their trust a little bit differently? My suspicion is that you would. And all of a sudden, that just frames things a lot differently. And all of a sudden, that casts a spotlight on some of your more erratic behaviors, or even worse, when I see leaders in competition with their own team. If you're going to fight over commission with your own team, then I'm going to show you a team that will not go to battle for you, let alone lay down in traffic for you, which is really it's kind of my euphemism for that standard of what a real leader is, right? We've all had those managers that we have wanted to lay down in traffic for, and we've had a couple that, if you're honest, you've thought about more than once about pushing into traffic, right? You want to be the former, not the latter. That starts with trust. It's also important to be consistent. This is a key component of trust, right? Say what you're going to do, then do what you say. Very, very simple, not always easy, but no one said the leadership job was going to be an easy one, right? It takes a special breed. Are you that breed? Think about how important it is for your team to know what's coming, to know what to expect. And how does that help them prepare for your meetings? How does that help them guide their actions in the field when you're not around? Right? Think about it. When you are so consistent that they know what to expect, you become a little Jiminy Cricket on their shoulder that guides their actions in your absence. That's real power. That's real leadership. Now, as I've worked with teams over the past several years, one of the things I've noticed about great leadership is there is near full transparency, and in some cases, absolute transparency. When your team knows that you're not hiding anything from them, they can trust you even more. When they feel informed with the same or at least really similar information to what you have, they can start to use that data, use that knowledge to form their own opinions and start to make sure that they're acting in the best interest of you and the rest of the organization. Think about transparency as a means of everybody being on the same page, and that is really difficult to do. So if you aren't using transparency as a weapon to get everybody on the same page, you're making your job harder. Now look, you don't need to give away trade secrets. Nobody's asking for the recipe to Coca-Cola, right? There are some things that your team just doesn't need to know. But think about your own experience. Think about times when you were in the field and you wish you had some knowledge, some data, some information that would inform you of the true motives of your manager, of the organization above your manager. How would that have helped you be better prepared and better able to execute in the field? Why aren't you giving your reps that same enablement to go and execute in the field? Now look, being a leader is hard. I believe that being a frontline sales manager is the toughest job in any organization. You have too many masters to serve. You've got to serve the organization above you. You also have to lead the team underneath you on the org chart, and that is no easy task. But if you can start to think about the real fundamentals behind solid leadership, like trust, consistency, and transparency, I think you're going to do a lot better. I think you're going to serve a lot more effectively, and that's going to lead to the results that you're all looking for.